All right, folks.
No dukes.
Episode 12, I think we're on now, Red. Lucky number 12. Yeah, again, fair play to everyone for tuning in. Sorry we weren't here over the weekend. We got
laughs and shit, motherfucker.
Yeah, on. But before we get going, I just want to jump in here quickly for anyone who's interested, or you want to help support the show or whatever. We got some new merch. So we got our Epstein didn't kill himself line that's corrected. But we've got loads of different stuff.
Still haven't found out who killed Epstein though.
Epstein, he's out there. He's still alive. But we've loads of different stuff. We're going to be updating.
Are we selling face masks?
Yeah, ironically. Ironically.
You fucking capitalist pig.
Yeah, we'll sell out for $1.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, but we...
I'll buy two and wear them as earmuffs as promotion.
Yeah. Actually, the one thing this site hasn't got is hats. We're going to have to source hats from somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so new Class A stuff, new fucking vigilante stuff, loads of new stuff, all available, different colours, phone cases, fucking pillows, mugs, you name it. It's in there. So if you want to help support what me and Red are doing here and get yourself a bit of cool merch at the same time, make sure you hop in there. We'll throw the link up in the description. And, you what?
The white hoodie is nice.
Yeah, it's a couple of nice things. I'm fucking going to be putting in a big order myself.
Expect
pretty soon to be decked out in Class A, Terrorist and Johnny Darko fucking merch. Without a doubt. So Red, how have you been? What's new in the world?
Living the fucking dream, pal. Walking like a Jew. But you can't say that anymore, can't you not? Because these are old adages and all that stuff that like where, okay, maybe it's slightly botched. I wouldn't call it racist because Jews aren't a separate race, are they? What do you mean? No. Okay, well, let's call us blissfully ignorant for the virtue of humour. But yeah, you can't say that. But yeah, no, just broken mental. That's why I haven't even been really up to date on a lot of shit. So I'm going to be a listener for a lot of this, I'd imagine. But I'll still give me opinion because I'm a prick.
Well,
how are you?
Speaking of Jews, have you seen the news on Roman Abramovich? There was a little story out today that a couple of shell companies belonging to him were funneling money into an organisation in Jerusalem that's basically, I think, taking back land or whatever from Palestinians. Seemed to be a little bit of a story.
Israel, that's going to be some sort of connection. So, yeah. And again, this is another thing I had to say. No, not excusing because I don't know, and I'm just the first one hearing of it. But just because it's one of his companies doesn't mean it's him. Do you know what I mean? Because he doesn't run every.
It's actually I have the story there. So it's the shell companies that they eventually found that he was the majority owner in 3 of them out of 4.
Yeah, but he doesn't run.
They've given over 100 million in the last 4 or 5 years or something. I'll have to look through the whole bleeding thing now. I'll just kind of skip through it, but yeah.
You do see that people say like his company and therefore, but it's like he has people where to run that. I mean, he's a fucking oligarch. He doesn't sit around there looking over these.
No, they're just companies that were set up on the shell companies used to transfer money around. That's all they were.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's probably nefarious in any way, but when you start linking it to all this sort of shit, it's like, X, Y, Z.
Yeah, no, it was linking to other stories about displaced Palestinians. They were being moved out of land, and this organisation, this charity that the money was given to, was going in and basically funding to move Israelis into the land or something like that. I don't really know the ins and outs of it, but it was a story that popped up, and because his name was attached to it and they'd given nearly 100 million or something.
See, for me, it's hard to side with the Palestinians when most of our government are fucking Islamic terrorists, like Hamas and all that shit. Like, at the end of the day,
you're from the freedom fighter era, you know what I mean? Your granddad fucking, I won't say.
These activities shit, yo. No, look, I understand the argument, but however, it's hard. I think it's slightly hypocritical for people to be fucking crying over the Ariana Grande, catastrophe concert terrorist attack, by the same people that they're supporting in Palestine, because the government and it's still kind of democracy, so they still have the Palestinians still have voted in an Islamic fundamental terrorist group as they're democratically elected. So for me, it's like, look, I understand. I feel for your plight, because we're Irish occupied. I get all that. However, the people that you've elected.
One thing I will say though, right?
I don't like them either. So there's a bit of that.
It's been very nice of all the terrorists around the world to come together in our time of anti-COVID or COVID togetherness to stop all the warring and fucking negligent activities all at the same time.
Well, you have to, because otherwise people are going to say that they hate old people. Can't be fucking having that.
Well, yeah.
I am going to behead this infidel. What agency?
Yeah, I want to take down this government, but I have to wear the mask.
As long as he's not over 65 pounds, we don't give a fuck.
Is it because they can't travel around the world now with the restrictions, or what's going on?
Yeah, imagine that, like fucking sitting back in some cave going, fuck, my airport, my flight, my flight is being cancelled, and the fuckers won't give me cancellation. They're cheeky fuckers.
How can I blend in if I have to wear a mask and everyone else wear a mask?
Yeah, I don't know.
And also, speaking of Abramovich, I did tell you Liverpool would win at the weekend, didn't I?
Yeah, you're actually looking well. Chelsea weren't looking too bad until the sending off.
Yeah, of course, it ruined the game, didn't it, really?
Yeah, no, it did. But it was a sending off, in fairness. Like,
the other thing I'll say, what the fuck was your man Kepa doing? He was in no man's land for that.
Yeah.
Fucking nut job. And then the second goal, like.
But that's what I'm saying, like, there's a great therapy, isn't fucking.
Oh yeah.
Because City will be. I think City are going to be well on your tails this season.
City looked fucking shit hot.
Yeah.
Even with the few players out with COVID or whatever they were out with. See Rory Delap Schumacher was on the bench for City.
No way.
Liam Delap. Yeah. Centre forward. I think he's only 17 or 18 or something. He's on the bench against Wolves, yeah. I've no idea. I got sent, one of the lads sent me there and goes, no way, is he fucking joking? Of course, the first thing I said was, any good at long throws? And then when I went looking, there was a few articles about him, and nearly every article was like, who is Liam Delap and is he good at long throws? And I was like, right, fuck it.
It's the first thing you had to think of. Like,
obviously, Rory Delap. It's about all he could do. But yeah, so fucking, did you see, while we're on the subject of football, see Leighton Orient? Fucking.
Was it a whole squad or something, was it?
It was a lot. Basically, what happened was, I think for the Carabao Cup, because all the Premier League teams are being tested regularly, but the lower league teams, they don't have the funding for that. So I think the Premier League teams are given the option that they could pay for the testing of the teams they were playing against to make sure, because if one of them tested positive, a team has to quarantine, you miss games or whatever. So I think a lot of the Premier League teams just said, yeah, we'll pay for it. So yeah, fucking 10 or 11 of the players turned up with COVID, asymptomatic of course, but.
So they can pass on COVID, but they can't pass the fucking ball over to the left. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you know what, fuck it, just asymptomatic, just play the game, fuck it, doesn't matter.
Well, they shut it down in the restrictions in fucking Dublin here. We were playing ball all the way along, we fucking, boom, ball stopped. Able to train or whatever, but only outdoors, or it's all fucking stupid.
The way they do it, the way people are still listening to this government, they just drive me fucking mad. And again, with the cases going up, they're like, see, that's because all you non-mask. It's like, shut your fucking, just shut up. Right. Shut up, you silly cunt.
Right.
Cases don't matter. They were never worried about cases. Now all of a sudden they are, at the start they weren't. The government lied to you, and that's not a conspiracy theory. They did. They said they did. And if you're going to get bogged down now because RTA tend to worry about cases, suck my ginger.
Double the cases now, and double the testing now that we had at the peak of it in April, and we've less than half, like a quarter of the cases or something, and we're fucking locked down. And
didn't your man Harris come out and say there was like fucking 98% negative cases? But and you know as well, all these dickheads going to get tested when they've no symptoms.
No, yeah.
Absolute donkeys, because they're listening to they're watching RTA. Because I know people are like, this is what I always find funny, right? People are saying, oh yeah, because you read on Facebook, that means it's like, okay, you listen to RTA. You know what I mean? They're both the same fucking thing. Like, It's just shocking. Like it is. It's just the fact that people still listening and they're getting fucked. Like I always talk about the other day, and he was saying about just some random one, and I was saying, actually, he got mad. He forgot his mask. That's what it was. And I said, just go in, you'll be grand. Like, and he goes, oh no, we had to get the mask. I said, just tell them you're exempt. Oh no, so they should be wearing visors. I'm like, no. I think if you're exempt, you're exempt. That's like that's, and even these shops that are kind of like dark. How did you see a man spiral getting fucking pulled up in the middle? Like
it was hard to feel sympathy for him because you know what I mean.
No. But
we squashed that beef and all right. It's all love now, but you still sounded like a dickhead in there. Like, come on, get your shit together.
Yeah, there's ways of doing it, and he did. Because I mean, for all the shit he talks online, and then
what do you mean I can't do? What? I need a mask, but we constitutional rights. He just like, come on.
Yeah,
come on.
that's I mean. Like, it's just like, what happened is he can do his Facebook posts, and as soon as the confrontation hit, he just absolutely just drove blank and annoyed to death. Like, but that's it. But that sort of thing. But the essential security guard. Why? What's the issue? Like, are you following the guidelines? Yes, I am. Okay, well then I'm exempt. Yeah. That's it. Like the guidelines say if I'm exempt, I'm exempt.
If you
That's the guidelines. So you follow the guidelines.
Yeah.
See you later.
Super value. I've heard loads of people talking about different super values all over the country that are just not letting people in. They're just trying to push back, but yeah. Like, did you see all the shite with the PCR test? So your man Matt Hancock, is it? So Matt Hancock and Luke O'Neill, the guy over here who's fucking the wizard, Luke O'Neill, made a tidy little package selling that company there during the week. They made fucking, I think they sold about 380 million. They made like 26 million each or something like that.
Yeah.
Sold off their little pharmaceutical company or whatever. So, but anyway, they've no vested interest in any of this. But your man Matt Hancock, I'll see if we can dig it out. It was about the PCR test, but he made a bit of a boo-boo on it, right? So it was about the false positives. And so it's what Julie Hartlett Brewer on fucking Twitter, right? So it's explained anyway. But so basically, Matt Hancock told Talk Radio that the false positive rate of COVID tests in the community is under 1%. Sounds good, doesn't it? Wrong. False positive rate of 0.8% when the virus prevalence is so low means that at least 91% of COVID cases are false positives, right? So the PCR swab test false positive rate is between 1 and 2%, depending on which expert you ask. But let's be kind to it and say the better quality variant returns only a 1% false positive rate. So if we test 1,000 people, we get 10 false positive results. This may not seem much, but remember the prevalence of the virus in the community is now estimated by the ONS to be 1 in 1,000. So if we test 1,000 people and one person tests positive who was actually actively infected with SARS-CoV, you will also get 10 false positive results. 10 false positive represents 91% of the total 11 positive tests. 10 false and 1 a true positive. Fit and healthy people are being classed as cases because of a test with a 91% rate of false positives. So you take that into account now, and they're saying 50 new cases today or 100 new cases today. Pretty much 90 out of those 100 cases are false positives. So it's only 10 new cases today. This is how ludicrous the whole thing is. So as I said to you earlier, we're doing double the test.
It's 350. That's how it is.
But like they're doing double the test that they done in April, and less than a quarter of the amount of positive cases. Will you fuck knock that down again? Because 90% of that quarter of the cases is false positives. Like, yeah, literally, it's so insignificant. And look, come here. I'm fucking sick and tired of it. The people that are buying into this at this stage, I've had enough. Like, I can't listen to this. I can't listen to this. These are all idiots.
Marty didn't say it.
Like, people are still buying it. They're still defending it. They still think we should be locked down. Like, all the shit about the restaurants and bars that we're going to be opening and all having to fuck out all the fresh produce.
Fuck them.
Oh, no, well, yeah, they shouldn't.
Fuck every pub owner. If you end up homeless, you end up homeless. Fuck you. What are you doing? Like, Oh, we've sat here and we've waited and we complied, and you know what? Okay, but you know, keep waiting and lose your livelihood, or fucking open up. Just get together, have it open. Look, we're all going to open up, and if the fucking you say, oh, you lose your license, then we'll all lose our license, and we'll still fucking operate.
They're not going to do that. Yeah.
Exactly, but if they did, the government would fold like a fucking.
Oh no, yeah, like a lawn chair.
Maybe.
Lawn chair or a cheap suit.
But there you go, yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, so they fold like me playing poker. There you go. I should have said that at the start of it already.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, so you're going to
stop that.
If you're going to keep eating shit, they're going to keep feeding you shit. And that's the thing. And if you're going to do nothing about it, except for go on RTE and cry and go, oh, our business is really taking a real hit. We know.
Well,
you know what? If you open up, we all go to. What?
People, you know the problem. People, they don't want to break the rules. They don't want to be.
That's what I'm saying. I have no sympathy.
They're starting to see how silly it is. But yeah, it's going to start affecting them now. So they've all got their staff back on. They've got all the orders in. They've got all their supplies in. They've met all the guidelines, all the restrictions. And yeah, here we go. The day before they're going to open up, or 3 days before they're going to open up. No, sorry, you're not opening up. Sorry about you. And see, is it one of them? I can't remember who it is, but someone has demanded that the government give them the evidence that they based, like publicise the evidence that they based their decision on. And crickets.
Breaking us together.
Me or you? Because it's you on my hand.
Well, my youngest was in the internet is unstable, but it shouldn't be, like, because it's. You know, it's fairly now, generally 250 meg.
I think the evidence was best it was on your end, but however, you there or gone? Fuck's sake, Red. Do the show.
Well, I was going to say is the government's tapping in and fucking our podcast because they don't want the masses to hear what we're saying.
And I will make one point on the mask because I came across this and I found it quite interesting. For all those cunts out there who like to complain and say, oh no, there's nothing wrong with wearing masks. A German children's charity has commissioned a laboratory to examine a commercially available mask. The face mask was previously worn by a child in school for 8 hours. The examination findings were the detection of 82 bacterial colonies and 4 mold colonies. So that's after 8 hours. That's not like, you know,
broke up again.
What?
The findings were?
The findings were 84 bacterial colonies. 84 bacterial colonies and 4 what was it, 4 microbe colonies or something like that.
Mold was it?
Mold colonies, yeah. Sorry, 4 mold colonies, yeah. So that's just a kid wearing a mask for a school day. That's not people like who were putting them on, off, in their pocket, fucking.
It's just the same, like, but like, for me, it's like, if you're going to eat the shit, they're going to feed you shit. So, wrap it up, put everyone go out and put masks on your children for 8 hours a day. And when they start fucking dropping, or if there is any negative consequences to it, do you know what? You deserve it. It's your fault. You done it to your child. The government aren't doing this to your child. You're doing it to your child. Simple.
Anyway, we won't go down the fucking mask again. I think people know where it stands on it.
What do you mean again? We haven't even discussed it yet. In depth.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, man. It's yeah. But this is my whole thing on the COVID thing. The more the people take it, the more the government are going to give it. The more the people will take it, the more the government are going to give it. The government should be relenting. There should be more and more pushback now. But the government are getting big. Like I see, listen to the radio today, and Netflix want to go back, want to go up to level 5. They want another full lockdown because it's better to get there early, so that means it won't be for as long as it would be in the future. And it's like, how about you just open everything back up and suck a dick? How about you just do that? And if you're afraid, wear your mask. If you're not, don't. And if you're vulnerable, quarantine. And if you're not, go about your life. It's
like they had the top.
You catch COVID and you die. You catch COVID and you fucking die. We all live life with risks. And this is what they do. Oh, you hate old people. Well, then you hate homeless, or you love homelessness and you love suicide, because that's what your agreement with the government. That's what's going to end up happening. More homelessness,
Well,
more
they're saying one death is
Well,
less important than the other. You know what I mean? So they're arguing that you want to put people's lives in danger, but they're saying in order to save lives, we're going to put lives in danger. You know what I mean? And more, what it seems to be. But they had a Swedish epidemiologist, one of the top guys who walked through the whole Swedish thing, talking to NFET today, who basically his recommendation was anyone healthy under 60, you need to get them out there, expose them to this virus and get it over with as quick as possible. Be the least painful way to go about it. And you just said there they want to go lockdown again, like, and there's no one sick. Like, I drive by that fucking oncology place in Bournemouth every single day. They're like the odd car here and there to get tested. Where are they getting all these tests from? Like, who's getting tested?
City West Hotel, absolute jammers. And again, 95% of them have nothing wrong with them. They're just going to get tested because they keep watching fucking art. This is another thing that's annoying me as well, because I keep saying, like, oh my God, people not wearing masks, use it a reason. I was like, no, see people that have absolutely no symptoms whatsoever and going to get tested, yeah, you the reason. Yeah. You're going in and you're getting false positives. Or you're getting fucking, because
the stories you get. You're getting everyone's going, I went in with my son because he had all the symptoms and we got tested in the car. But I thought I might have swapped out the wrong swabs. So when the results came back, I was positive and he was negative. So I went back, me, my son, and my husband this time, and we all got tested and we were all negative. How the fuck does that happen? And it's like, exactly.
And this is what, it's the anti-maskers. That's what it is. It's the people going out and protesting.
There's a big...
Not to be an protest, that because COVID is also anti-racism, so it doesn't go near them sort of people. But the other people out there looking for freedom, oh, COVID doesn't like them. Oh, he's going to spite you. It's just fucking... Yeah. My head's wrecked.
I see them pushing this far-right narrative. It's all over the place. I have to say, I may have to back up on what I was saying about John Connors, because he obviously seen it for what it was. He seen what was coming. He seen the way the far right were going to be portrayed, and he obviously got out early. Either that or whatever he did. Right, so the whole far right thing, the narrative that's being pushed on RTE, and all the politicians are pushing these far right. It's these people need to, what was Micheál Martin saying? Something like these fringe fucking people need to be challenged and all this, like. So basically anyone who holds any other opinion on what's going on at the moment need to be challenged by friends, family and all that, and outcasted. But they're pushing this far right narrative, and I think you can see where maybe John Connor seen this coming. That was kind of my point. Why he stepped off. He's seen.
Nah, he was trained. But he was still pushing the far right narrative. Who cares? Because the far left are worse than the far right. I don't care. They are. They simply are, because there's more of them, and they're more out in the open. I mean, the far right seem to be a bit more introverted, whereas the far left, because they believe they're so true, are extroverted, and they have no problem going around attacking people with milkshakes, doxing people, fucking so they're out in force. They look at America. The far left have burned America to the fucking ground, and apparently it's Trump's fault that they burned America to. It's fucking mental, and it's the far right's fault. But the far right didn't actually do anything.
With that Leo thing, do you think that was genuine?
I do. I think it was genuine, because it's looking at the age of the person. And she's a board with a skateboarder, so she's a far lefty. So that's their MO, like. I don't see, like, because they don't understand consequence. They don't understand that, like, they're so weird that they think that words is violence, but throwing liquids at people isn't. They're fucking nuts. I'm glad. I'm so happy I'm smack bang in the centre of all this, like, because I'm not far left and I'm not far right, I'm not left and I'm not right. I'm in the middle of things. I'm both fucking idiots. But unfortunately for the far left, for the lefties, or the more centrist lefties, the far left are so loud that they're swallowing you up, and that's what everyone is fighting against now. So it's just like, just miss me all your shit. When you start coming at me, when you start talking all these buzzwords, I just tune out. I don't care, like, because like, you see me, I have the debates and discussions with people all day on, but as soon as they start hitting the buzzwords and like white privilege and all that stuff, I'm out, gone. So yeah, peace. I'll stay in the conversation and buzz off you, but as far as you're no hope, I'm not going. You're not having this conversation so that you might learn something, you might change your mind, because I've copied out loads of times and they still won't relent. Doesn't matter if they're wrong, they're still. That's the side, that's the narrative. So they go over, and it's like you can't talk to me like that, like. So and then again, what you do? Oh yeah, because far right people do, and I'm like, I'm not far right. I'm just with you, dickhead. And a pro-capitalist.
So you think it was genuinely it wasn't a staged event?
I think it was
staged deal.
I just wouldn't put it past him. But put it this way, I'd be more inclined to believe that it was a weird little fucking far lefty bitch than Leo Varadkar staging it. That's I'd
be completely the other way. I don't trust anything he does. Is PR, photo op, an opportunity for fucking to push a narrative. He's the king of it. And there was stuff about the guy who was filming him was involved in some other stuff. I can't remember off the top of my head, but at the time I was reading it, it was certain other things that happened that were bogey. So the camera fella has been involved in some other videos that he was on site with all these fucking lefties or whatever. So I'd be inclined to think that it was a staged event. He had the other suit ready to go, and
but they do that. They'd have spares, like, as a teacher.
No, I get that. I know there's reasons for it, but I don't know. It was his reaction to it and all. He didn't, like, someone runs up and just throws something at you. You fucking, like, you don't know what it is. If it's hot or cold, if it's acid, if it's something. His reaction to it was just kind of like, oh, he didn't. It was like he was pretending to be, but it didn't look right.
Probably a bit of shock, isn't it?
You
don't think you're going to go up and
she would have never got that close to him. That's what I think. I don't think so. Don't think so. I get it.
I don't know, because again, that's the thing. Like,
I just my mind wants to go there. I don't trust him at all.
You're wrong. If I had been some stocky dude walking, hold on a second. But when you get this little geeky fucking Antifa board or whatever walking up, it's like I could literally kick you in the gate, and you know you're not a threat. And then she threw the yoke and ran off. Like, so maybe just in his arrogance he didn't think it would happen. I don't know. Again, if I found out tomorrow that was categorically a stage, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. However, I'm more inclined to believe that was just something.
What did you think of the other Antifa board, Izzy or whatever her name is, getting what they reckon a flagpole in the head or something like that at the last marches? Did you see any of that? No. The Antifa, like, they got fucking attacked or whatever. Like,
fuck Antifa. Look, if you show up to fight these far right fight, you wanna bash the fash and you get a hiding. So fights you lose fights. Don't show up thinking that. I mean, like, here's the thing, right? Antifa. If these guys are as bad as you say, what the fuck do you expect? You're not the victim. If you show up to counter protest the protest, because these guys are all scumbags and they're this. What the fuck? It's like I say about the same with the Palestine and the Israel, and they say, like, oh my God, there was 3 kids shot. I was like, well, yeah, they were throwing stones at the IDF, and they go, yeah, well, you did throw stones, they shot back, and I was like, you don't get to choose your enemy's weapons, like. Don't throw fucking stones, and they won't. It's not like I have a gun here and you have a knife, and you walk up with a knife and go, "Oh, hold on a second, I'll put my gun down and I will go and get a knife." I'm going to shoot you in the fucking head, like.
Do you see?
Don't come at me with a knife. If you have a gun,
do you see a man in America that he ended up killing himself, but his fucking outfit or something was outside the pub being attacked by a load of Antifa heads or fucking BLM heads, and they jumped him and he fired a couple of warning shots off. And the fucking 2 of them ran up, but one of them ran up behind them. They were after smashing him up, like. But another one ran up behind him and gets him in a chokehold, like, starts choking him, and he fucking pulls his gun out and shoots him in the clavicle and kills him, like. But they wanted him up on fucking terrorism charges, murder charges, like they were out to do him. The police, the fucking district attorney, whatever, out to get him, like. It's like this.
Oh yeah, he wasn't guilty of breaking the law. He was brave. He was guilty of
being on the wrong side of politics.
It was the morality police that went after him.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same with the couple. The same with the couple that were in that gaff in Louis.
Man, your internet is fucking horrendous, I have to say. 250 meg me bollocks. Nah. Is he gone? Is he gone? Is he back? See that face on him as well? I don't know. I think Red's gone. We may have to add him back in or something. Let's see. We may stop it and see if he can sort his internet out. Or you can listen to me for another fucking half hour talk about Liverpool. Thiago. Sure he's want to hear that. Right, we'll stop it and we'll see. Can I add Red back in and we'll catch up with you. Right, we got Red back there, I think. So I don't know what you were talking about, Red. If you want to jump back into it. No, he's fucking gone again, is he? Right, hold on. You there?
Yeah, you're gone.
No, it's all you. It's all you, brother.
It's fucking Virgin. 250 meg me bollocks, because all I have going on for it is this.
Yeah.
There's no reason that my internet should be fucking doing this. I should be able to handle a Zoom call. Virgin. If you're listening to me, you little pack of overspec cunts. His thoughts got to Virgin. That didn't even stall there. That was just me in the face. Yeah, no, but as I was saying before we got cut off, like that couple in America.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, fucking
when they marched
in
onto
Louisiana or something, wherever it was.
Yeah.
What?
When they marched
this
onto
is a fucking
property.
disaster.
Yeah, your fucking internet's bollocks.
You back?
Hold on, we'll see if we can get Red fucking proper here. Hold on. Right, I think we have Red back in there. Apologies, everyone, for so look, these are the fucking things we're forced to deal with at the moment until we get into the setup, which I'm hoping is going to be very soon. We'll be doing these together in the same location, so we won't be operating obviously on the Wi-Fi's and all that. So yeah,
relying on that whack technology. But which else are foreign look?
Yeah. Put on shit. I didn't even put on.
Right. So as I was saying, right. So that couple in Louisiana, right? Yeah. So they were obviously the gate was their private gate. The gate into the community wherever that was broken, right? Yeah. Broken by a bunch of people that walked in, and they walked out where your man had his gun, and the woman had a movie prop, and they were arrested for pointing the guns. And even though it's a castle law state, so what they did was completely legal. They didn't fire or shoot anybody. The protesters, or whatever we could call them, broke and entered into the community. So, but then nothing happened to any of them. It was the people. And then it turns out then, right, that the pin or something was removed in the woman's gun.
Yeah, right? When the police were putting it back together, yeah.
And then the DA or the prosecutor or whatever that tried to put it back together.
Yeah. So that wood fire. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is what I'm trying to say. That fucking it doesn't matter. Like right and wrong doesn't matter anymore. It's all about revenge and justice and all this sort of shit. And it's fucking and that's same with that kid that ended up killing himself. He didn't do anything wrong. He was defending.
Protecting his outfit. I tell you now, if someone fucking decked my outfit, I'd fucking put a bullet in your head without you fucking getting the warning shots and all that.
And this is what the guy said about it. Like these people that attacked him were rioting over somebody they didn't even know being attacked and killed by the police or whatever. So if it's okay to do what you're doing because of somebody you don't know being killed, obviously it's all right if you just fuck out and defend your father. Like.
Yeah.
That's standard. But no, because you're on the wrong side, the law doesn't apply. It goes out the window. The morality police come in. And it's like, oh, well, he shot this guy. And it's like, well, yeah, and what you want them to do? Like that Trump supporter, just get your head blown off.
Yeah.
And it's not a big deal. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's just fucking, and this is why I'm saying the far left are a lot more fucking dangerous than the far right, because the right, the moderate conservatives, the moderate Republicans, they'll call out the far right. Do you know what I mean? They'll even somewhat keep them in check or whatever that because they know that you haven't got that support. But the far left are fucking wild, and the moderates refuse to call them out. Like all that peaceful, mostly peaceful protest. They know that's bollocks. They know it's bollocks. Because I actually said this to one of the lads I was having a discussion with, and I was like, it's rioting and looting. And he came back with this analogy of, oh, well, if one person drops an atomic bomb with 099, is it a peaceful protest? And I was like, okay, fine. So you're saying America is mostly non-racist? Oh, yeah. Well, according to your logic, America is mostly non-racist and your whole fundamental point is mute. Yeah. Oh, no. Because exactly. Because the far left logic doesn't apply to them. It only applies to the other side. And when you kick it back at them, well, there's a perfectly logical explanation as to why we don't have to follow it.
Oh, the perfectly logical explanation crew.
Very fucking dangerous, they are. Like, they're a lot more logical. Absolutely, 100% they are. Look at the riots that they've caused over the past few months. Is the most damage to to property in America's history, and America has a fucked up history. That's you know what I mean, like that, and that's not happening with the KKK. People say, "Oh, yeah, where's the KKK?" The KKK, there's 700 of them left in America. They're not a threat, and when they are, and they get pulled up, generally people on both sides of the aisle point at them and go, "Oh, we don't like you." But the far left just seem to have carte blanche, and you have politicians refusing to fucking call them out only when the polls say, "Oh, actually, you know what? People don't like this." And then they're going, "Oh, well."
Did you see the reaction to the Supreme Court Justice doing? Yeah, one Ruth Bader, fucking whatever her name is.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious, like.
But it's retarded.
It's like
Trump can't. If Trump tries to do this, we'll impeach him, and it's like, but Obama did it. Like, it's been done 20 times in American history. Like, every time it's had to be done in an election year, it was done in an election year.
Like, you see her stuff where she's talking about the apartheid in South Africa and how it was great what they done and the way they built their constitution and all. Like, you see who they bow to as their fucking heroes, you know what I mean? And that's not the world I want to live in or want to be a part of. To be honest, I don't like to play politics. It's only recently you're kind of forced. It's been forced upon you to pay attention to what's going on because these lunatics want to reshape the world. They want to reshape the way we live and the type of society we have and the way we think and the way your kids operate and are educated, and you know what I mean? They want to reform and reshape society, and it's terrifying to look at. Terrifying the way they're going about it. Up is down, black is white, fucking like like literally, you're looking at something going, right, this is boom, boom, boom. And they'll tell you the complete opposite. I'm watching like an RTE ad. And RTE are trying to tell you that they, in these times you have to get your news from reliable sources who can be trusted. And, when there's this big ad, well, it's like fucking Big Brother in front of your face, double speak. It's like so fucking prevalent now, and it's so obvious. It's like, they are telling you that they are the trustworthy news source and you can only go to them for your news. And it's like
you're only getting one side of the news because they don't have RT, don't have people on that are fucking debunking all this shit.
Nothing's objective.
And anyone that does, like that fucking fella from what's the part of the HSA or something like that, he came out and he's being basically fired from his fucking job, like.
Oh yeah, the other fella, yeah. Because you have your man De Bruyne, and then you have what was his name? The guy from Athlone or Longford or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He came out and basically said it was just a bad flu and fucking he was forced to resign, yeah. And then you have these other stories like that's on RTE and your one Grace. I'm not sure, like it's a fucking long-winded story. We might get into it on another episode, but like basically systematic fucking abuse she received while in state care, involved with Tulsa and all that. And the whistleblower came out. He basically told Leo Varadkar that she was being abused and he done nothing about it, and it was for years. And eventually he came out as a whistleblower and got her moved, thankfully, and she got a big payout. But then the same foster family that was abusing her, like she was in her 30s or something like that, she'd been abused for years, like, well, then received other foster kids. These are the people running their country. They're fucking paedophile. If they're not paedophiles, they're paedophile enablers.
No, we have to understand her. They have people's interest at heart. They're all, they care.
Leo is a saviour. And the same thing with Harris. He fucking some woman who was involved in the nursing association or something, or in a nursing home, and she had loads of fucking complaints about. I was listening to a woman whose mother died at the hands of a fucking, basically the nursing home, like mistreatment. She was taken into the hospital dehydrated and all sorts. They were caught overdosing on sedatives, people, and they don't know whether they were fucking dying from being given too many tablets and all, like. And this woman was given a glowing report from the HSE and from fucking Harris, and now she sits on some board that's going to overlook the fucking nursing home scandal and all, like. This is what you're up against, and they'll tell you up is down and fucking that black is white and light is day and day is night, and you know what I mean. They literally tell, like, you'll say, "I caught you red hat." No. No, what happened there was you just don't think right.
Yeah, you're a conspiracy theorist.
You know
No,
what I
but
mean?
I have the facts right in front of me. No, that's just.
But the worst is you have people defending them now. You have people trying to fucking stick up. Oh no, Leo, no, he's a good lad. No, like. I've had enough. Everyone knows my fucking. I've drawn my line in the sand. I'm done, and I'm done with all these idiots. I hope all these mass people. I hope you all die. Really and truly, you're fucking like. You're just bleeding earth crawlers and fucking air breathers. You're good for nothing else. If you haven't at this stage in your life took the time to really think things through and say, hold on a minute, life isn't like a politician lies. We know that. So therefore, there's a possibility, however small it might be, that someone's not telling the truth about all this. All these unelected people in NEFIT and all, like, answerable to no one, jobs all fucking secure, getting big money. Like, fucking O'Neill comes out and all these people, and they're getting big payouts from fucking pharmaceutical companies and all that are operating. None of these have any bias whatsoever. None of them would ever lie. There's not one inkling, one scenario, one iota of a chance that they might have other nefarious fucking reasons for doing this. No chance. If you're sitting there and you can't honestly say to yourself, maybe something might be up here, well then you're too far gone. So I've punchiest piloted me fucking hands with all these NPC fucking non-soul having entities that are out there at the moment.
Yeah, and just like it just shows you how far we've gone. And as I'm saying, back in the day, it was he's not wearing one, I'm not wearing one. Nowadays, it's I'm wearing one, so he has to wear one. That's exactly what Ireland is now, and it's sad because we used to be, even though we've always been kind of corrupt politically, we've always been a fairly astute citizenry. But now that's just gone out the fucking window. Like, it's people like, and again, the same people who criticise RTE prior to March, you know what I mean? The same people who criticise the government prior to March are now all of a sudden completely willing to just listen to everything RTE is saying. Yeah. So even though I had her on today anyway, just while I was having my dinner, like, she fucking every day she checks it. But it's so fucking like monotone and. Oh, well, you know, today we have another 190 cases, 90 of them are in hospitals across the country, and there was 2 deaths, and it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, I want to catch it and die just to get me through this fucking thing, to get me over it.
This is the shit that annoys me. It's like 2 deaths. Who were they? Where were they? When were they? How old were they? When did they happen? How long were they in hospital for? What age were they? Had the underlying health issue? No, just 2 deaths. 2 deaths. I'll take your word. 2 deaths, yeah? No, and these were 2 deaths from June, from fucking May, from April. They were this week, today. They happened today, yesterday, last week. When did they happen? When are these deaths from? You get no information like that. It's just 2 deaths. If there was 3 people died in a car crash, it'd be O'Shaughnessy from Darndale Court and fucking, you know what I mean? You'd be getting the full fucking names. Like, why aren't you getting the names of the people? Or even not the names, even if you don't want to give out the names. Give me information. We need information. We need to understand what's going on here. So if there's people dying, let us know. Why is it just another 3 deaths today? Like, and I used to be able to read up and find out that they were fucking carried over and one was removed and fucking whatever. Now they don't even entertain that information. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's fucking. Anyway, it's fucking silly bollocksology.
It's all got mental. But here, before we did you not say there's a couple of questions there We're rolling on a bit. Just pick out two of them. Pick out two of them.
Well, the first one was Steenson. You didn't watch that Boyd video. By the way, shout out Steenson. He's one of Joe's mates and a good Irish hip hop head. And he sent on a Joe Boyd video, which was fucking hilarious, by the way.
And that's another thing about the lefties having to convince themselves that Joe Biden is in any way better than Donald Trump.
But that is anyway.
Like, I mean, the one thing about Trump will get a sentence out and it'll be brash and boorish and whatever. Joe Biden can't even get a sentence out.
He's like the 200 million people who with the
and it's sad.
And
it's
50
sad. He's
million of
and again, this is the irony. All these people who cared about the old, protect the old, protect the old. I hear they have this absolute fucking like. He's senile the fuck, like, you know what I mean? He's like, he just is, like, he's not functioning fully.
Well, you know he's not the man. He's just he's a puppet. You know him, you say they're a puppet. He's a fucking mannequin. He's a placeholder. They're gonna get Joe in, and then it'd be Kamala or fucking Kamala Harris or whatever that fucking name is.
But the thing is, like, Biden hasn't got a fucking hope. They're trying to avoid any sort of debate with Donald Trump because Donald Trump would devour him. He would devour, and he'd devour Kamala Harris as well because her past is pretty checkered as well. Like, he basically just, like, I mean, all you have to do is show the Biden versus Kamala Harris. Now, either she said that about him and didn't mean it, and it was just for politics, which means she's not trustworthy, or she said it about him, and then because it's going to benefit her politically, she's now siding with him, which means she's not trustworthy. Either way, she's not trustworthy. She's no better, but none of them are. They're all fucking. They're all crooked. They're all corrupt. Do you know what I mean? It's just kind of choose your poison at this stage. But don't act like they're not. Don't act like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are both squeaky clean and Donald Trump is just evil and these guys are the saviors of the world or the lesser of two evils. They're not. They're not. They're not. All you have against Donald Trump is his tweets and his words. That's it. Action-wise, policy-wise, you don't really have a lot.
Here. Does Red genuinely think that Villa will stay up this year?
I think we're going to finish in the top half. No, I don't.
Good win the other night, though. Good win.
Yeah, it's a good start so far.
What did you think of that sending off? It was a little bit contentious, a little bit.
Yeah.
He was grabbing the hold of Egan at the same time, but he definitely pulled him back as well. Like, but it was a long way out.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised with it. And if you had to be in the yellow, I wouldn't have batted an eyelid. I was surprised by the red. But then again, the way the game is gone, it probably is a red card. I can
understand the commentator's argument was the referee was 60 yards away and he runs straight out with the red card when he has the ability to go and look at it on the monitor again. You know what I mean? But I thought. No, Sheffield, they dug in because like that was 10-15 minutes into the game, and then they got the penalty. They worked hard. They were unlucky, but it's still a big win for you, isn't it? 3 points.
Yeah, it's like the positives. Like Ollie Watkins, I think is going to get us a few goals. That's going to help us a lot. I think he has a lot about him. I was happy with that signing. The keeper Martinez on his debut, clean sheet, saves a penalty, 3 points. Can't argue with that.
He's a quality guy. In fairness, I'm surprised Arsenal sold him. He's quality.
I was like, well, because I seen his rumour to link him, and I was like, I don't think it. But when it happened, I was like, ooh. And then Bertrand Traore as well, good playmaker, can create goals for Ollie Watkins as well. So I think we'll stay up, but mostly because other teams will just be more shit.
West Ham, Fulham are going to be dirty. Yeah. Another question here. There's a few music ones, but there's one here saying Adesanya or Costa. So that's fucking the weekend. Adesanya, Costa.
Adesanya.
You going Adesanya?
Yeah. It's hard to see him. He's very fluid, and he knows how to, like, if he's losing the first round or two, he'll do enough to, his way of kind of not getting hit and point scoring is quite good. So he's good at gauging as well. So yeah, if it goes to decision, I'd say it'd be him. But
I think Costa will be. He'd be out for blood right off the bat. But I was re-watching his Romero fight, and he gassed out pretty heavy in the end of the second and the third. And that's against Romero, who will stand around for 2 rounds, fucking retaining a bit of energy, like.
Yeah.
But he can hit. If he fucking hits him, like, it'd be an interesting fight. But yeah, I think it'll be with you on that. I think Adesanya probably win it on. I don't know if he'll stop him now, but.
No, well, yeah, I think he'll get a decision.
Yeah. There's other questions here about kind of DFI. How did it begin and how did it end?
Well, it began with me watching Don't Flop, WRC, and watching the URL and yeah, watching the URL and stuff like that, and all thinking that we can do it. So set one up.
Yeah.
And then
I think
I realised we couldn't, to be honest.
For anyone who checked it out, I don't know, like, fucking give the lads a shout out. Anyway, Newey was on Mo K's podcast there, but they were talking about the early DFI days and how we done it in the Temple Bar Music Centre. And we had like fucking 60 or 70 people in a rehearsal room. And how it jumped, it jumped from there, didn't it, to...
I think the next one was in the Crew, was it?
Crew Clothing, yeah. It was so loosey-goosey, but I tell you what, you see, that was the one thing, only one thing about the documentary that kind of annoyed me, because you can't dismiss how big DFI was. You can't. It was such, from all the artists who were involved in it, there was everyone who was fucking anyone battled in DFI at one stage or another. And lads used it to shop their music. They used it, they turn up Radio City and fucking, we used to have the stall there and like lads would literally be making their mixtape or their album and releasing it in conjunction with the next DFI event. You know what I mean? It was all built up for that, and the DFI mixtapes that we ran and all the, you know what I mean? It was a huge chunk of the history. I know it was fucking a lot.
But those documentaries aren't for that. That's it. They're not
yeah, I know. Yeah, so it wouldn't have been in it anyway because you wouldn't have done it, or I wouldn't have done it anyway. But it was just to rehash the history. I kind of looking at, oh man, it was such an integral for a couple of years, like such an integral part.
But even Class A's. I mean, when all the other lads, like even like Scary Area, I understand they get a lot of props because they were kind of pioneers, and I get that. Like, Scary Area are dope. I'm not listening to them, but they didn't really do anything from like mid-90s onwards. Like, was it? No, but
it was Rick Meatball then was out on his own anyway, wasn't he?
But that's what I mean. Like, but still, it was all.
Do you remember we went to the fucking where was it? We were with Nick up in Belfast or something, wasn't it? We were in the fucking remember we were in the stretch limousine. We went up to Belfast.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Stretch Bentley, yeah. Fucking hell. Some story. Who was it? Nugget and Mo and fucking me, you, Nugget Mo. Who else went up? Jeebus came up. I think it was me, you, Mo, Jeebus and Sammy, I think.
No, I think it was Nugget and his missus or something at the time, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, Nugget and Jen.
Yeah. Man, that was some crack, that was. But remember Mick up there, yeah, Mick's a good lad as well. They're all sound blokes, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not talking about the, but like even the people is like even with Class A say, and like you can like the music or not, but when nobody was consistently doing that, and we were consistently doing everything. So I mean, like first proper music video since it was us. You know what I mean? Like the fucking.
Well, you had, remember Kelly's All Right as well was out before that. I remember that was out.
Yeah, okay. Well, the first one went to do really, really well, like, because it was, we got 100,000 views on that pretty quickly. It was on everyone's Bebo box. But you know what I mean? Like, so all this sort of stuff, we were consistently dropping stuff throughout a good 8-9 year period. You know what I mean? Like, so when all the people, like I said, your favorite rappers or whatever that, when they were all dropping their album and then nothing for 4 years and then another one and then a bit of a buzz and then nothing for 2 years and then another one, we were consistently keeping Irish hip hop afloat, bringing in the Soyos and the Nuggets and the fucking, you know, the Rob Steensons and the Raptors and putting all these guys on in videos and fucking, do you know what I mean? Like, or making tracks with them or getting them on songs, and we were kind of growing out the single-handedly. Well, a lot of lads weren't doing it. Do you know what I mean? And completely overlooked. Because again, look at us, views-wise, there's not many people in Irish hip hop that's fucking with Class A's, and views-wise, content-wise, there's not. You know, there just isn't. And then you throw the DFI into the mix. But when all these sort of fucking things happen,
I think people, right, you kind of take for granted. We done, right, for whatever we achieved or didn't achieve or whatever we got, at the end of the day, we done every single bit of that on our own.
Yeah.
No outside, no funding. We fucking bought equipment. We earned money. We bought equipment. We fucking set up our own studio. We set up the battle events. We fucking had cameras. We had, you know what I mean? And then had to do every single bit of that. Set up websites, get the publishing sorted, get other artists involved, get their mixtape done, get a photo shoot done for them, shoot a video for them, release that, you know what I mean? And do our own stuff and do my stuff and do fucking, you know what I mean? And then set up the battles, sort events, source venues, shoot promos, get fucking flyers done. Like, every single bit of that was done. It wasn't like, oh, we'll get onto a fucking a graphic designer here, or we'll get onto a fucking promotional fucking guy here, or managing. You know, every single bit of that we done ourselves. So, like, for a good decade, man, that was fucking daily grind. Like, we
were a hub for Irish hip hop for a while. It was all circling around us. But again, like, I mean, it probably sounds like we're being bitter or not, but it's like,
not the least.
It's worth stating the fact that, like, so when these documentaries are happening and we're not involved, it's because they don't like us, not because of our impact. It's mostly because they don't like me, because I'm very just unlikable, I have to say. Like, so I think that's what it is. Like, I think they kind of
see. I think people need to understand the sacrifice I've made to my good name and brand just by associating with you.
Oh yeah, man. I owe you a lot. I basically stopped you from becoming a famous rap star, to be honest with you.
And for you to just go and start up DFI without me.
Well, you brought Collie in, so I thought. Hey. No, but in fairness, you never really had that much of an interest in the battles anyway.
No. I to be honest, you fucking man, the conversations we had at the time, I'd no interest in battles, but it was something you wanted to do, right? That's what we're doing. That was the attitude, you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, we need to shoot this video, right? That's what we're doing today. Oh, we've got a gig tomorrow, right? We're rehearsing today. Oh, we've got battles next week, right? That's what we're you know what I mean? So that was always the attitude, and it was always like, oh, Nuggets album's nearly ready, right? That's what we're doing. Soil's doing that, right? That's what we're doing, you know? And it was that attitude of every day in the studio, I'd be like, right, what are we doing today? Right, Jeeves is working on that video, that's going to be released the end of the month, then that album's getting released, and right, that's what we're doing today, you know what I mean? So it was that attitude that was kind of.
But yeah, so why did DFI finish?
I think it ran its course, didn't it?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it was. I mean, the battlers, it was getting so hard to get back, and that's, again, it was kind of synonymous with Irish hip hop at the time. It was like the only thing that was really buzzing in Irish hip hop was the battles. And then your people kind of going, oh, well, I'm going to skip the next one. I'm like, for what? What else are you doing? Like, you know, it's like, oh, we're going to work on my mixtape. Nobody wants to hear your mixtape. We don't want your battle. We don't want to hear your mixtape. So just, like, oh, we'll do both. I was doing both. I mean, the amount of albums and shit that we dropped while I was still battling and hosting and running events and booking events and setting up battles and doing all that stuff. I was able to do all that and still throw fucking, 12, 13 verses out for a mixtape. So again, I kind of just got tedious trying to. I mean, I got to the stage where I was writing bars for battles, just so they do the battle. Like,
man, I remember the stress you used to be under. You'd be like, "Fuck, I'm just having an email sound, so I have to pull out that like fucking cunt on the day." Like, you know what I mean? You have to weigh in. We'd be up for days organising this, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like, we have everything fucking carried. Jeeves would be a nervous wreck in case his cameras went out and all, like the fucking stress levels. And we'd be meeting up at like 9, 10 o'clock Saturday morning, the day of the battles. And I'd be like, fuck, he hasn't texted me back yet. Fuck. You know what I mean? trying to get people in.
That, like, a week or two before battles are due, when I'm sitting there getting on to people and they're getting on, oh man, look, I haven't really prepped, so I'm gonna have to. I don't have a third round, and I'm like, right, hold on a second, give me a couple of hours, and I'm writing whole rounds for people.
I wouldn't even ask you. I wouldn't even ask you to fucking out that.
No, I wouldn't name any names. It was one or two people.
Everybody knows I wrote half your bars for you anyway, so.
Well, that is true. Like. Everyone knows I wrote Unlimited Limitations. So that basically just ran its course. Like, I just got to the point where it was way too much work, and people were like, even the events for getting people to show up. People were more like, oh, I'll just watch it on YouTube. I was like, well, no, we kind of need you to come in and support it. Just watch it on YouTube. So it's like, well, if you're not, if it's not even going to pay for itself anymore, there's no point. No, it still was, in fairness. We were still, because I mean, one thing about me is, because I'm a bit of a prick, but it can become in handy because we were getting event venues for free, because I was just saying to them, look, whatever you make behind the bar is yours. Like, you're not using it. Open the bar. If you don't get $2,000, I'll pay the difference. And every bar made over $2,000. That's what we did. We were getting phone calls saying, oh, you can go back here whenever you want. Like, for another ship-up gig, to be getting phone calls saying, oh, do the next one. Or here, I actually have another place that's bigger.
What was your man's name, actually? He loved it. He fucking loved it.
Paul from the Mez. Big up Paul from the Mez.
Paul from the Mez. What a fucking sound chap.
Absolutely.
What a sound chap. He'd just be bringing you in venue after venue and going, do you want the academy? Do you want this? Do you want that? Like, you have whatever you want.
Yeah, because I remember even the first time we did it in the Mez, and he was a bit sketchy about it. Now, you watched the videos of that, you enjoyed the videos, but he was like, oh, no, blah, blah. And then when he's seen it live, he was just all on board. He was, the next one's the academy. Like, and we got the academy, I think it was for free as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I was quite shrewd, but if it hadn't been that shrewd, it wouldn't have lasted as long. So I put everything.
If you'd had the battlers, the backing of the battlers to keep the product. It was the product. It was a lack of product. It was so difficult to try and get enough product to make it worthy.
Exactly. I mean, I had the battle, and I didn't want to battle. I never wanted the battle, and I had the battle basically every event.
I had the fucking battle. Can't believe
exactly. Do you know what I mean? I think everyone threw that hand in. Like, but listen, if you had the potential there, like if Jambo had stayed, if Little Dialect had done a few more, if Newey had stayed on board, Ross all had stayed on board, we literally kind of fell to the wayside just as battle rap in general was hitting its peak, and we could have been contending there, and it could have been a lot fucking bigger. And then it's the sort of thing that, like, I mean, I know the rap is full, lads. They're doing a great job, but the interest isn't there now. I think they're on the other side, unfortunately, because they're doing their best and they're really promoting it and pushing it and all that stuff. But people just, no, I think they're doing it wrong. I think they're appealing to the online crowd and not to the Irish home base.
Well, I tell you, it's the way to go now, because you ain't gonna be getting no crowd in nowhere for a long time.
No, that's true. But again, everyone's doing it online.
Man, I remember we went to one of your battles in the UK. I'm not sure which one, but Disaster was there, and I just remember Disaster's reaction when he seen you. Like, it was like, this is my biggest hero. Like, it was weird. It's like, Red, fucking hey! I want a football freestyle battle. He was talking about playing in Germany and all. Like,
that's really Disaster. Even because at that time as well, Soul Can was my favorite battler. And I walked
weird as well.
And I remember it was like, what you call it? I was like, how's it going, man? Big fan. The name's Reg. I was like, I know who you are.
I know who you are.
You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, holy shit. So that's how big it was. Like, that the best, the creme de la creme of battle rap culture, period, was watching DFI. Like, and knew who, not necessarily knew who I was, but obviously they did. But just to say that they were even watching it was a huge compliment, and it showed the potential that it had. It ran its course. It is what it is. I regret nothing. Had a ball, and all the best to RAF. I hope they can surpass it. I mean, they won't, but I hope but they should. Like, they just need to start appealing to the Irish more. That's my only advice I can give the rappers for.
I like them. I like a lot of the lads in it.
Start from the home and then walk away. That's what DFI did. We started from Ireland and walked out, whereas these guys are kind of starting to try to capture the world or something. And even the battlers,
all the battlers were kind of out there already. Like, you think of the likes of Nugget and Guam and Raptor and all, they were established from DFI, Row B and shit like that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no, but even looked at, but even the ballers that are like, because even some of them kind of switched up a bit instead of being Irish in an Irish crowd, which transcended across the pond of people.
that's what you have Carl French for, isn't it?
Carl French and Damo, like two, you know what I mean? Again, this is why I really, really like them two guys, because they kind of have that Irish swag that the Irish people would like, and so will the rest of the, so will the rest of the people watching it. They'll all like that as well. But whereas now all the lads are trying to appeal to they're trying to do soul from Don't Flop style. And I was like, man, you can't do that. They're better than it. Let them do that stuff. Embrace your Irishness. The Irish people will come, watch it, enjoy it. You'll build a kind of steady fan base from Ireland. And then look at the world. Because the world is going to be watching in bits and bobs anyway. But have the patience to kind of, but it just seems some of the battle rappers are getting in and they're doing kind of multis and the word plays and all that sort of stuff. And it's like, yeah, it's all right, like, but my mates wouldn't watch all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, my mates wouldn't come in and watch. And the DFI fans don't seem to want to go to RAF. I don't know if it's because they haven't watched the videos and they don't know, or they have and they're like, this is rapidly rap.
Let's be honest, Red, you don't have any mates, like.
Well, no, you haven't been watching RAF.
Yeah, well, like.
Jeebus.
Yeah, he doesn't really like it.
And you. Yes, that's what happened. That's course.
There was one more. We may as well answer one more. There was the. Did you think anyone back then would have made it?
Me.
Was there anyone you thought would make it?
Me.
Well, MC Dove is the only answer.
No, me. I was Be Someone was an absolute cult classic. Like Dub Life was a cult classic album. It's just Rap Man wasn't good enough to make me #1 artist in the country. So basically, everyone got onto Rap Man and abuse him.
Rap Man bailed to get engaged 15 years later.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, big up at Rap Man. Congratulations, dude. You still should have got me #1.
That's fucking two congrats he's got. Fuck him.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, fuck you, rats. I believe like Be Someone. I made that song, right? Not you. No, yeah, no, like, Newey obviously is the obvious, the most commercially viable rapper in the country, I think.
Yeah. I thought, to be honest, I thought the only one who would at least transcend would be Kelly. But what he was doing in the US, he was getting on there, so he was the only one I could see.
Like, people from lads, like,
there was no one in Ireland going to do it. Let's be honest, like, you never got support from the radio over here, and what was the point, like? You'd get playlisted on one radio station. Now, I think the original Real Boys lads, they were getting pushed for a while, and they did have big support, but I don't know, I still never really thought that they were going to blow up either.
No, the thing about the original Real Boys was they were more connections. They had good connections, but the music wasn't there.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
One or two of the songs they had, they went back.
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to listen to one or two and I wasn't. Like, I don't mind Neddy. Neddy's a dope little rapper. I remember him being back around in the day. Whoa, just the whole package, I just didn't really. I personally wasn't vibing off.
See, what happened was you came from listening to Newey and Donnelly doing that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So Newey and Donnelly could have fucking made it.
Like,
yeah, give me sweet heroin. Donnelly was fucking dope.
Actually,
I have to. What if that's on
that tune they had? The fucking
So just cry, let it all out. Together we'll try.
Yeah, that's a tune, man.
Yeah. How do I remember that? I haven't heard that song.
No idea. Come here.
It's mad.
There was no chance I'd ever thought of that.
It's guys like give me names and I can't do anything with it. But you say, oh, what was that song from 15 years ago? I'll do the whole verse. Like,
I think I've said it before, but half my fucking verses we'd be doing live will be over and Red in the chorus going, "What's my first bar, Red? Red, what's my first bar? Alright, cool." Fucking wouldn't have a blade brace. I think you done half my verses when I used to just fucking black out.
Carried you, man. The whole career basically carried you. To be honest with you, wrote Unlimited Limitations, and then
wrote, directed, starred in.
Thought of your name, gave your image, got you a Bentley up to Northern Ireland.
yeah.
I made you, man. But I think that's gonna be all because I'm up early for work in the morning. So,
Anyway, shout out everybody that's stuck with us for 12 episodes. We can only keep promising that eventually we're going to get into the studio and get logos and all that done. As you can see, we blew our load over a decade, and now we're just wasters.
Yeah.
Get to it.
At least we don't have had to have our dreams crushed.
What dreams? Gave up on them years
I'm
ago.
not bitter.
Right. Anyway, shout out everyone. We might get one of them Soccer 6 jokes out this week. Another one.
Yeah, we're doing terrible. How did we do last one?
I had no idea. I didn't even look at it. I threw my yakas out the window and turned my phone off for the weekend.
Yeah. Oh, stop, man. Stop.
Yeah. All right. Go on, so talk to you soon, folks.
Right, folks. Thanks for tuning in.
All right. Bye.
Good luck.